Hello, I'm here with Dr. David Spondike, and Dr. Spondike further discussing the allegations of racism with you and as it entails with you. I'm going to relay a story that your father actually told me, and with your mother present. And please help me if any of it's inaccurate or if you remember it differently. There's a story when you were in high school, and you wanted to bring a friend home, and you, since it's quite some time ago, we're not young anymore, you asked your parents if it'd be okay because he's a black gentleman. Now, your parents, your mom and dad, said it's not a problem for us at all, but the neighbor down the street, 2 doors down, is a very outspoken racist, and one who really would have a problem with you bringing that person over to your parents' house. And your comment, as I was told, was that, good, I'll make sure he sees him as he goes in. Is that accurate?
Yeah. And what's kind of funny to me is I completely had forgotten that story until my dad had related it to me just recently. Because doing things like that never seemed like a particularly significant thing to do, which was just normal. What
I've noticed as friends of yours are gathering around you after these statements came out, and I talked to a gentleman, an attorney mutual friend of ours, and he and I were talking. He goes, well, I knew that David didn't say those words, and he didn't write that post. Even when I read it, he goes, I knew it wasn't David, and I told my wife that. So there was that. There's also, what people don't realize, that there's 2 members, your brother and a sister, of your immediate family who actually, they're minorities who suffer from discrimination. And could you tell us a little bit about that? Basically, how did discrimination affect them?
Well, fortunately, my brother has been with the same person for the last, 22, 23 or more years.
Wasn't he suicidal at one point?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah. And your sister, she literally couldn't deal with the racism, not racism, sorry, the discrimination of Northeast Ohio and specifically the United States. She moved completely out of the country, am I correct?
Yeah, she spent time in San Francisco and eventually moved to England. Kills my dad a little bit every day because she's not coming back to the United States because the United States is so discriminatory towards people like her.
Okay. And so you've got that, you've suffered through that yourself with your family. Also, you play music as well as teach music. Now, isn't it true that multiples of churches in the Akron area and Cleveland area you've played at, where you were the only white person or one of only 2 or 3 white people in the church at that time? Is that correct?
Yeah, you can't go 40 years being a jazz musician and be a racist. You can't.
Not without having somebody beat you up in the back alley.
And yeah, I've played in many places where and I even had my folks down to dinner at churches where
your parents went down.
We were the only white people in the church, and we were always felt comfortable and ingratiated. So.
And I want to point out that Dr. Spondike would not refuse to name the names of these churches, and because he didn't want these churches to actually suffer the same backlash that he suffered. We have the names. We'd be more happy to, well, I would be more than happy to give them to you. Dr. Spondike has begged me, and I have to concede, not to give the names of these churches. We're going to continue on about this racism rant very shortly. Thank you.